Hello everyone, this is Danish from jobskillshare.org. Today I am sharing a very serious video for people who are serious about getting an IT job. I'm talking about people who are applying for the first time. I'm talking about people who have had IT career or jobs way, like let's say 5 years ago. And I'm talking about people who are actually going for schools or colleges or our education and they're having hard time. And that's why I want to call this a very serious video, because in this 1 hour, if you are serious, you are not going to skip even a second of this video. Don't do that, because if you do that, you're going to skip a lot of important tips. And that's where you come back to us and you complain about, I am not having good luck, or I am not having getting a job calls or something like that. Because you need to go back to how serious you are. So in this video, I hope you're going to watch it fully and you're going to take some practical steps. And before this, I want to give a little tip lecture, because I know some of you will just skip it. And look at this video. This is an amazing video because I put some visuals in there. I show some of the, when Mithun is talking, he's basically mentioning some resume tips and everything, and I'm actually showing that right here. And then if somebody else is talking about other education that they have done, so I'm giving you some visual examples so to get you motivated right here. So out of these 4 people, 2 have landed jobs in the same week. 1, no A+, no experience right now currently, and got a job. 1, just getting into this career from a different career, getting this job. So of course there are different ways for you to land an IT job. But let's talk about it. Let's just see how serious you are right now. Let's just find that out. So every day we have people joining, right? From WhatsApp to websites to Discord communities like this. And then people usually have different type of approach when it comes to landing an IT job or looking for an IT job or even starting education in IT. So let me open this. I want to ask you a question, how serious you are first. Are you serious enough to spend some time and look into what is the requirement of this career? What is the current skills or demand right now in this IT career? We're talking about entry-level IT support positions right now. Do you even know the differences between different titles? Do you even know how to attract HR managers? Do you even know how to attract recruiters? Do you even know how to tackle interview? Right? Because these things can happen instantly. So if you're serious, you should be asking yourself, how serious am I? So are you taking any practical step after if you're serious? Because I'm sure when you're serious, you're going to ask a lot of questions. You're going to go out there. You're going to do some research. You're going to spend some time. You're going to say to your loved ones, give me some time. I need to really, really focus on this. Right? You're not going to be that kind of person who sits in front of the YouTube channel for 2 hours and then you get a call from a friend and all right, let me get to you right now, and you'll forget about this. Right? Are you serious enough to then take an action? Right? Are you taking any courses? And I'm not just talking about JSS over here, right? Because of course, I think JSS is one of the powerful platforms out there, because I know how hard I worked on this and my trainers and my members and the whole community. But you don't have to be a part of JSS. Are you even serious? What kind of courses are you taking? And if you are taking courses, how serious are you taking these courses? Because that's the problem. A lot of my members, or even premium members, come to me and say, oh, I'm not having a good time with landing a job, even though I like the whole content, I'm learning a lot of stuff, but I'm not successful. Well, then how serious are you on these courses? Because when I run a report, it shows a total different story. A lot of people are not serious. They just go into the fundamental course and think that this is too fundamental. Let me just skip to another course. And then they think that that's also something that I can finish quickly. So let me just zoom through it. So you miss the fundamental, you miss some important steps in the fundamental, because in the fundamental, we make you practical. We tell you to join communities. And a lot of people spend months in this platform, still haven't joined Discord, which is one of the most powerful community that we have. Because in Discord, you meet other members, other interns, and you get to know the things that you're about to see in this video. If you're not in these communities, if you're not practical enough, then a lot of people say, oh, I'm not having good luck, or I am not having, my chances are slim. Why? Because you are not practical. You're not even serious. You're not even giving time over here. So I'm sorry, I'm a little harsh on a lot of people over here because that's what I see. Ask yourself a question. Have you done this? Have you, and if you say that I am practical, I did join Discord, how many times have you joined us? And the reason I am going so hard on this is that in today's video, you're going to see another user that basically confirms it. When I come on Discord, I give 30 minutes on daily basis, almost daily basis. Maybe take weekends out sometimes, but this is what I do. I come on Discord and I say, I'm available. Are you in trouble? Do you need help? Do you need career advice? Are you stuck in the courses? Do you need a plan? Yes, of course, we're going to talk about things that are going to cost you 100%. This is what it is. Well, if people are going to give you their servers, if people are going to give you their time, and then there's something, yes, you are going to be looking at that stuff. So don't get scared of that stuff. And I'm telling people to don't think that JSS is the only answer. Go for something else. But you need that. Even if you are going to be doing it yourself on your home labs, you still need to invest on your home laptops. You got to get practical. And people then join after many, many months, and then that's where the story begins. So we have two examples, two success stories. Somebody landed a job just because they joined that 30-minute session with me. Two examples. Just because they opened up. They were watching, and one day they decided that let me just go ahead and join this. Let me ask a few questions. And that's how things happen. You got to get practical. You cannot achieve goals, or you cannot be thinking unrealistic over here. This is a technical career. There's no way for you to be successful in this career without getting this type of practical approach. If people get lucky, then they run around for skills. And I can guarantee you in that I have not come across anybody who will say, I landed a job and I'm just super at technical stuff. If they have superpowers, I'm sorry, we don't have. Average people don't have that kind of powers, right? Average people they're going to get a job and they're going to run after skills like crazy because the next day they're stressed. So then follow the instructions. If you join the communities like this, if you join or you need guidance like that, people share a lot of knowledge with you. People spend some time with you. Are you even following instructions? Then I find out that a lot of people just skip through instructions. Just like courses, they skip through instructions as well. And they jump around. And then they ask questions, the same questions again and again, which leads to a mentor saying that, look, I already shared that with you, right? I have already shared that with you. Have you even got practical? So the negativity will start, not from our end. It's that because you're not following instructions. So we are going to tell you again, did you follow the instructions? We have shared some information with you. How serious were you? Did you even open the PDF? No, you didn't, right? So a lot of people don't do that. And then they complain about, I am not successful. That's because somebody shared a PDF that they spent hours to make it so then you can have a good success, but you're not following those tips. You're looking for an easy way. You just want to download a resume with a little template in there, which we also give that template, and then people say that, oh, I am not able to achieve my goals out of this template. While the same interns are saying the same thing, I downloaded this template and I got a job. Why? Because now they got practical, they have learned from us, they have used the tips that we were talking about, they have invested their time and energy, which is the most important thing. Now, the last tip that I want to share before you start watching this video is stop thinking like a regular user. You're not a regular user. As soon as you join these communities, you're here to become an IT professional. I'm sorry to say that, but you're not a normal user anymore. You want to be a technical person, then start thinking like a technical person. If you're learning, yes, there's going to be hard time. You're going to have to do it twice. You're going to have to do it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times till you get it. Yes, you do get help, and we're providing that to you. But there's no way for us to help you if you say, how can I log in? How can I do this? Some basic stuff. Then I'm going to say, are you even applying for IT support job over here? Because right now you're asking questions that are extremely like, simple, where I see that you are not even doing an effort to look for something or to try it yourself. So that's where the things are going to go bad, because you are not serious again for this job. You haven't even done the basics, where you need to prepare your mind, like, to think like an IT professional. So you learn like an IT professional. That's what you learn from the first course. And when people skip that, that's where the problems are, because they want to get to technical stuff very quickly. They think I'm just going to go for imaging, deployments, and then I'm going to skip this fundamental, where the core of your learning or how to learn technology is shared, and you skipped it. So stop thinking like a user. When you go and you're applying for jobs, still stop thinking like a user. You cannot just be getting mad or getting angry because you're not getting success because you haven't done any of that stuff. So you becoming you putting that stress on yourself is only going to hurt you, nobody else. So that's why my rant over here is something serious for people who really want to get serious. So after this, I want you to watch this whole video. Don't skip anything. Take some notes from these people, because these people were just like you. They, in the beginning, they had a hard time, and now look at them. They're sharing all of this information just so you can become successful. I hope people will take this video seriously. And sorry, I was a little hard on people, but I have to. There's no other way. Thank you so much.
Something that I worked on, and I put it in my post as well. Job profile. There's a reason I put it on number one. That thing really stands out. What I did with my job profile was, I'm just recapping what's already in the post that I put, and I'm going to start from scratch. How I started. I started going through possible, job openings. I started saving them. Okay, for sure. So this is what I did. I started shortlisting the job openings. Okay, I started questioning myself realistically with what you know and what you can possibly learn. What can you do? Okay, IT help desk. Okay, IT help desk. I started going through job descriptions. One key factor that I learned from one of my friends. He's since 5 years here. He's well established in the banking sector now, banking software. He also started from scratch. Every job description has technical skills, soft skills, and certain nice to haves. All right, that's all the three that they have. Okay, if you can convey these three things effectively, first in your job profile and then in your jobs and responsibilities, more than half the job is done. This is something that I got from one of the free counseling programs that I went through in Canada. They said like more than 50% of your work is resume. You got that done right. You got your job profile right. That's done. So what I did was I took those soft skills, I took those technical skills, I took those nice to haves, and I thought, okay, how can I piece them together? So, there's another thing that I got was from a book about LinkedIn, is that not even LinkedIn, in a resume as well. You have to stand out. How do you stand out? You tell your story. How do you tell your story? Okay, I started with this job, this, that, whatever. And then you piece these technical skills into it, these soft skills into it, and, soft skills that they require. And the nice to haves, if you have them, great. If not, tell them you're anticipating them. For example, CompTIA Plus. I put them in the anticipated certification support. And then keep working on it. Go through job descriptions. Okay, what can I write this better? Can I piece this better? And keep working on it. Think from a recruiter perspective. If a recruiter is going to look at this, is he going to buy into my story, or is he going to be like just another one? What is one thing that I can do today? What are two things I can do today? And keep working on it every single day. I have a schedule now. Like right now, I'm occupied with my GMIT and internship, but now I'm pretty much done with the task. Next week onwards, I'll still be improving that. Second thing, your social part matters a lot. There's something that my friend and a couple other people that I talked to, they pointed out was I was coming across to as leading. The way your resume, especially at the entry level, as I learned from people, was it should portray like you're working with people and you're helping people. And at some points, down the line, if needed to be, in a position where you have to mentor, you're mentoring them. Okay. So job duties and responsibilities essentially started with my first introduction being uh, about the technical work that I did. For example, in my current job, I work as a customer associate. I also did the IT support. But what I put in the top, I put the IT support part. I help people to set up desktops, Office 365, voiceover, whatever. And and then I started adding to it, adding to it. One or two points about customer service. Then I put about, I created documentation to help people. That also is a great thing that's needed in IT help desk. So I creatively worked around my job duties and responsibilities in a way that they matched um, the desired jobs that I'm applying for. I did the same to all three of them. And and the thing is, there's another thing that I didn't put in there. Couldn't recall that. I'm not now recalling now. I saw someone's profile with 20 plus years of experience and they moved here. They're like, 1 year I've got no jobs. There's a simple reason for it. When you enter a new place and a new market and you don't have the native experience, you have to switch down. Not many people will recommend it. They'll say, oh, you deserve better. You deserve better. Well, the thing is, if you're trying something, it's not giving you results. You have to see why. If you're trying to go too high, it's not going to work out. So I switched down. Instead of going for 7 years experience, I did 3 years, like entry level, decent experience, pieced it up well in the same order that I told you, and then started working, then started improving on it. I did not apply to a single job, and I got six offers. They were like, are you interested in joining on all that? And in this particular one, this was my first interview, by the way. After like the first one that I failed for network support back in March, this was my first ever interview and I cracked it straight up. Again, there was a lot of feedback from Danish that helped, in terms of presenting and everything, and obviously the KevTech videos and the links and all that. But the key point here is, again, it's how, not only how hard you work, it's also how smart you work, how aware you are, and how much you pay attention to those job descriptions. Like literally pay attention. You take one job, you see at it, what is the employer asking for? What is in the hard, in the hard technical skills and soft skills, in the nice to haves, and why are they asking that? What is expected of me? What have I done in my work that I can, work around that?
Yeah,
That
I want
was
to
the
add something over here, and this is a very key point, and I'm sure a lot of people will be listening to this. And this is where a lot of people come to me and say, "Hey, I'm applying to positions, but even if they have, let's say, memberships, it doesn't matter. They go through courses, right, technical things, and they keep learning, they keep learning, they keep learning, they keep learning. But usually, a lot of people, they don't think, how am I going to use this for my resume? Like, I'm learning this stuff. I'm learning Active Directory. I'm learning soft skills, whatever it is. But a lot of people are not converting that into an interview questions. Like, they can't think about that, right? Like, it's like something that I tell people, that make sure whatever you learn, whatever program you take, at the end you have to ask yourself a question: how can I convert this into my interview? Now, if you already get a job, then you're on a different phase, right? You then need to be thinking about, how can I convert these skills into my job? Like, how would I get a ticket, right? So it's very important when you get that type of understanding, what you're talking about. Once you do the smart learning, once you do the smart checking and smart time investing into these things, questions are being answered automatically. And that's what you're explaining is, that's what we call, like, spend some time and relax on the learning part and just think about these things. Because why are you doing all this effort first? What's the first reason you're doing all this stuff? Is because of these two reasons, right? Either you want to get a job, or either you want to get better at your work, right? So that's kind of like the flow has to be that, right? It has to be that, and then things becomes a kind of like a step-by-step approach. And I see a lot of people lose patience. Like, you tell them something, and then they will jump into different things. And when I say watch this video, a lot of people just watch the video to just get a link or something like that. They never finish the video. Or if I tell you, make sure to finish my description because there's something in there, they look at my text and they will read the first 3 lines of the text, and then they will not even bother to go all the way down. And then they will ask me the same questions from that video or from that text that I shared. And that's where I say, did you read my whole thing? Because you didn't, right? And that's where I tell people to don't become nothing will happen fast in this career. There's no shortcut here. It's all about how
Yeah.
smartly you utilize everything that is given to
Yes.
you. That's very
Yes.
key right there.
100%.
100%. And I remember, I've been going through like it was almost like 6 months I've been struggling. Um, but every time like I became impatient, like it was especially in the last like I would say 2 months I had been extremely impatient. Every time I became impatient, I really I gave myself a reality check. I'm like, look, where you were 4 months ago, you didn't even know anything. Now you know the job market. Now you know the resume. The skills, obviously, you've started. It's going to take time to learn. Make sure you evaluate every single day what you're doing and every single day how, you're moving forward. Again, you might not do everything correctly, but that said, you learn from it. So I kept reminding myself, and this was very hard, being very honest. I'm the most impatient person. This was very hard for me, but the more I kept implementing that, the more it just started becoming a part of me.
So let me
So I
ask you a
was,
question, Mithun.
Yes.
Before we jump into you, Michelle, just one question to him, so I don't lose this flow here. Mithun, when you used resume, first of all, you said that you use a template. What changes have you done to that template? I want to know what have you done so far, because I know that's a very key way, right?
so I haven't, yeah, I haven't, okay, I took the magic resume, took it as it is, and I put it's the same things, like, the description, then the table as is. In those things, I really put the things what I knew. I remember I got this from your video itself. You said don't put anything in the resume you don't know. That's where the things were. So I really asked myself, okay, of all the things that are listed, what do I really know? Okay, I know these things. Okay. Second, I asked, like, do have I actually worked on these or even around these? Yes, put it in the job duty responsibilities. No, put it in the skills section. That's the only modification I made. Otherwise, it was all the same. It was all the magic resume thing. The only thing I tried to do there was put the best things that I know about, that I have worked around, and use the same presentation template. If I think I shared this with Kareem, maybe he asked for my resume. I'll share it with Rashmi as well.
And how confident were you? Like when you say that I know you did modify, but I'm sure you didn't modify every single thing over there, right?
No.
So how did you become confident? Because I know it's not easy for someone to take our template. They may be looking at us right now, listening to us, and you know what? Let me just download this resume and just do it exactly how it is and shoot it out there. But I want to know your side. That how confident were you, and how did you kind of come across these skills? Like, what did you do to say, okay, I'm ready to just apply?
I was 110% confident. Like, especially the last resume that I put, I had taken the courses from Job Skills Share. I knew, the practical implementation of them. I was 110% confident with my resume that if I put out there and an interviewer called me now, okay, I know what Active Directory is. Okay, I know what tier 1 level troubleshooting is. I know where the problem stops and converges to either a network or a system admin. If the job duties or responsibilities that I put in, I know if they ask me how that relates to their work, I can do that. I was 110% confident because it contained all the practical aspects that are required in the market, and I knew about it. I had worked on it. I had lab practice on it. And if there was anything that they required me to cover, I was like, okay, I got the lab practice on it. I'm already going for the training on it. I got everything covered. So I was 110% confident.
Here, you had to put that time in there.
Absolutely.
That people know that's
Yes.
the key right there. A lot of people may think that something will be just well, let's just get the resume. Things will happen. I tell people it can happen. Some people get lucky, to be honest. They can do that.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the next day you're gonna go out there and ticket is coming to you. And let me tell you, and I'll be very clear to people, that no one's gonna teach you for 3 months. They're just gonna say 3 days or 3 weeks. Enough. That's it.
Yes.
You came to us with that skill, so that's why we gave you the job. So a lot of people have to understand that the next phase is crucial, and you wanna prepare yourself. Whether you do it from us, I'm not trying to promote JSSO or go for anybody. Go out there. YouTube is full of it, and do that, because it doesn't matter. You get a job or you don't get a job. The next phase is you need to be solving the ticket. You are the first person in line. They are looking at you, and that's the whole reality of this job.
And just to add there, since you pointed out to put in time, I went through hundreds of job descriptions and modified my resume about 50 times at least to reach to that point. The same with my job profile. The same with my job profile. I modified it like about at least 50 times. I'm pretty sure, because I went consistently every second day. I was looking at people's resume, people's profiles, what they're putting in, what they're not, why they're putting it, why not, looking at the job description, just kind of like, figuring out every single day. I've modified it about 50 times to reach to that level, like, okay. Okay, so here's what I did. This is what I think broke it. I'll tell you. This was my first experience, the first interview that I got. It was through a reference, and I just sent in a resume. I didn't work. The second time, I was like, man, I got a reference. How did this not work? I took the job description. I saw what they required. I looked at my experience, and I started piecing out the resume as per the job description. So if at first they say we require a bachelor's in engineering, oh, I have it. Let me put it on the top. All right. If I see, because see, the job description is for a reason. If they put something in the top three, that's for a simple reason. It's not a haphazard order. They put it in the top three for a reason. And that reason is that is their primary requirement. That is what they require. And people are like, just piecing it out as per that. No, pay attention to the order. If they're putting the nice to haves at the bottom, that's for a simple reason. It's a nice to have. If it's a must, they will put it on the top. It's a must. You must have an A plus. You must have a network plus. So I took the job description. I took the resume template. I took my experience. And then I started piecing the resume starting from the job description. So I'll just put on this example, the one that I got. The first one they put was, we need help with the migration. We need help with Windows 10 uplift project. We need help with employing network drives and so on and so forth. I put those at the top, all right, a little bit of it. I didn't have to do much modification, because I said, and I'd already done it 50 times. It was pretty much there how I would get the job. But I still made those changes. So take the job description very seriously. I don't want you to just like skim through it. Take one job description, sit on it, read it. If you have to, write it. Like really put it in your mind. That's how it'll start getting in your head as to what the job, poster is asking for. Because if you take it casually, let's understand. Any HR or any recruiter, they go through hundreds of resumes every single day. All right. If you haven't put much effort, and if you just made it like everybody else, they'll see that within seconds, and your resume is down the trash. You have to put extra effort there. You have to put it. And talking of extra effort, not only in the resume, is the same thing that I learned from you, and I forget I think it was Keptek who told. You have to be consistent throughout. You have to show that in the interview as well. They asked me like in this interview I was asked, are you available to join next week itself if we ask you on Monday? The interview was on Tuesday last week. Like, sure, I'm ready, no problems. But they gave me 3 weeks time then eventually to join. So they're just testing you on really how committed you are. You show that commitment, you show that knowledge, you show that everything. They're going to go ahead. They're like, okay, this guy's actually serious. This guy actually understands what the work is, and he's committed to do that work.
And I believe you also use LinkedIn as a route, right?
Yeah, LinkedIn was a route. So LinkedIn was that thing. That's why I was trying different job portals. LinkedIn was that route, and this is something that I learned from a friend. He told me, he's like, add people. So I was like, randomly adding recruiters, randomly adding people, no particular direction. Again, that comes back to the same thing. Randomness and not putting in much efforts doesn't result in anything. So I took, I asked myself, okay, with what I know, what I've learned, what are my ideal jobs? Started listing them, not many, 10, 15. Okay. The first job, okay. Who are the people that can probably get me to the HR? because that's the whole thing. You need to have a solid resume that will land up to the HR, and they will say like to the hiring managers. Sorry, they will say, okay, man, this resume looks solid. Let's talk to this guy. Let's get him talking. So I had the resume part figured. I had the profile part figured. I knew, okay, the only gap is a reference. So I started adding people after people after people on one company itself. And my friend told me, he's like, go all out. Doesn't matter. 10 people don't answer. No, one does. Cool. No matter. Next, go for next 10. Long story short, I added a lot of people. I asked references. From some, I got really positive ones. They were like, okay, man, we just joined. We cannot refer you right now, but once we complete our probation, you're still not in the job, let us know. We'll refer you. They were really, really nice. And I'm still talking to those people. Long story short, my friend told me like, recruiters are not going to make much effort. If they see your resume is fine, they'll go for it. Else they'll just say, we'll forward and you'll have to wait. I ended up adding this senior recruiter. I remember I sent you the screenshot as well, Danish. Um, I just ended up adding him. He saw my profile. He saw my resume. I had not sent a word to him. He accepted my request and he initiated was like, hello, Mithun. I'm like, hello, Rajat. It's nice talking to you, connecting with you. Thank you for accepting my request. He's like, are you looking for a job change? I'm like, yes. And he gives me the service desk analyst description. I'm like, this exactly matches what I'm training for and what I know and what I'm looking for. It's like, okay, what's a good time to connect? Like no further questions. What's a good time to connect? I'm like, Friday 1 p.m. Okay, like Friday 1 p.m. Let's do it. Friday 1 p.m. we connect. Within the first 5 minutes, he asked me all the technical questions. How would you image? How would you, the Windows deployment? And he asked me about the couple of technical, simple, basic questions that I easily answered. And right. Right. And there's one thing, it's a little bizarre, but I'll still add. In my first interview, what happened, I was told on face, like, you don't know the things. If you knew the things, you would have a job. I was literally told that. And the guy was like, I don't say it wrong to the person. I mean, like, he was hiring for one of the leading companies and you cannot take that as a joke. All right. So he told me straight up. I'm like, and I told myself, I'm like, I can take that. I can take anything. What worse can happen? Somebody's going to say, oh, you don't know the work? Fine, no problem. I'll take that as a feedback. I'll apply on it. And that's what I kept telling myself. I'm like, go for anything. Whatever opportunity you get, just go for it. And that's what I did. I went completely in on it. I'm like, okay, bring in the questions. At best, I won't know it. I know the workarounds for it. I'll do it. Yeah, so long story short, he asked me, and then eventually he asked me something that I've never been asked. He's like, are you in mid stages of any interviews? I'm like, yes, there are going on. I have had first stage interviews, and there are second stages scheduled. He's like, when are they? I'm like, they're next week. I'm about to receive the date. He's like, okay, hold on. I'll get your interview done. I'm forwarding your resume to the hiring manager. The lead is going to come in on Monday or Tuesday. He's on a vacation, and he's going to forward um, you know, he's going to forward you the invite, and accordingly you can figure out when it's going to happen. I'm like, okay, it's just not the recruiter. He's going to forward it to the hiring manager. That's great, but this probably may not go down. Let's see how this works out. Lo and behold, on Monday, I think afternoon or evening, it's just, I received a straight email saying next morning is the interview from the service lead. I'm like, okay, this actually happens. This is a deal breaker now. And I remember I told to Danish, this is the interview we have, and this is the profile and everything. And I prepared the best possible technical way. Um, yeah, and the interview happened, mostly was behavioral. He really judged me on the behavior part, how positive I was and how my personality was, he asked. He's like, how do you start your day? How do you schedule your tasks? How do you do all those stuff? I told him I like to plan in advance. I like to stay ahead of my game. I'm training right now, and I also take some time off to relax and just try to exhibit my personality as positive and professional as possible. And ends in 30 minutes. It ends on a great. It was great, but I was still nervous. That said, I still had I'd still learned from my failures. I'm like, don't stick to one, keep moving. I got onto two more recruiter calls after that, and asked them like, do you have any openings? One of them had, the other didn't. They were like, okay, we'll get back to you when we can schedule a call. And lo and behold, after 1 hour, I just straight away received the call from the same recruiter itself, like, you've been selected to a background check. This is going to start, and let's go for it. And he sent me the background check. It was done overnight, and on the same day, I got another call from another recruiter. That was next morning. I'm like, okay, let's keep going for this as well, because that's what I'd learned. That's what my friends also told me. Like, don't stick to one opportunity. If that fails, you're like pretty much nowhere. So keep going for as many opportunities as you can, unless you hit that one opportunity. Like, okay, this is done. Yeah. And next morning, I still went on that call. Like didn't take it easy. Didn't take anything for granted. Still went on that call. Still discussed. Still shared my resume. And but after that, I think after the meeting I did with that recruiter, about half an hour or 1 hour later, got a message that background check came clear last night. We're going to send you the offer. And they offered me more than what I had expected. Even in the most minimum to maximum range, they surpassed the maximum range even. Again, yeah. And again, minimum to maximum range, this is something also that I had observed, like I'd researched. I'm like, okay, minimum is a 20, maximum is a 25 based on the kind of jobs that I'm applying for, the kind of race that I'm looking at. So I'm like, okay, this is an ideal one. No recruiter will ever say like, this is too much to ask for. So yeah, within 1 hour, that was done. So
Awesome.
yeah, but thanks.
That's pretty. That's like, if that's a whole flow for someone to understand how it works, and you shared so many tips, and we're gonna come back to these tips because I now want to bring Michelle. Let's hear her story, how she started, like, all this process, and at the end we're going to kind of like compare your flow with her flow, and I know for sure that things are going to be different. So I want to give some tips to people that how things are, you can use one way or another way. So Michelle,
Right.
if you're there, just
Yes, I'm
take us back from like the starting point, because I want to bring that age point right from the beginning, because that's how you started with us, right? You were like, this is my age, and what did we tell you, and then how everything's folded. Just take us back so people know where you're coming from.
okay. First of all, I do want to promote JSS, Job Skill Share, because this has really helped me out a lot. Once I became a part of Discord, I have always been sending Danish and CavTech different questions, asking them certain things because I have an interview, and I was wondering why I was not getting hired, and I thought it was because of my age. And they were saying, no, it's not because of your age. Don't ever disregard that. And then I was also wondering, maybe it's because I don't have my A+ certification. So anyway, after it was a blessing for me to get into this internship. I don't know what happened. I think this internship is just magic.
I think here I want to say thank you to Haifa, because she was the one actually messaged me. She's like, Michelle, she should directly message me. She's like, can we put her in? And that was a direct message from her. So I want to say thanks to her to credit her, because she was the one directly messaging me like, hey, this is the last one. We do have some capability. Do you want to put her in? And I was like, let me think about it. And then after that, that was like right in that remember you came in and I was actually checking what's the situation here. So thanks to her.
Oh yes, because I was speaking to Haifa and she was telling me that she was in the process of getting her A+ certification. I kept asking her questions because I was thinking, man, I would like to do that too. But then I informed her, and that I would like to get mine as well. But Danish, when you're a part of this community, job skill share community in Discord, Danish he was sent out like every day or every 2 days saying that he will do a 30-minute session. And if you have any questions about your career, and he offered that time free. And I joined that with Danish, and Hafer was on there too. And I was so happy to be able to get into that internship program. And because I think I have a great resume as well. And I did do one interview, and the interviewee told me, oh, out of 100 resumes, yours was the top 5. During the interview, I couldn't explain myself well with the skills. So I was just wondering, what am I doing wrong? And after looking at Job Skillshare, the videos and everything that Danish would tell us to watch, and it went through installing a server from scratch and adding domain controller, Active Directory, and you can add DHCP, just different things. So once I went through that, and it was just strange when I did get an interview that they asked me a lot of those questions that Danish talked about in the videos. So
I just want to remind people, look at the difference. Right, Mitten, you had behavioral, but now this is all technical right here, right?
Yes.
So I just want to keep people. We will talk about this. We'll talk about these differences in here for people to know how to tackle these two areas, because some people may say, oh, let me just prepare behavioral because they're not going to ask me about technical. And now here you have an example of technical, and I can guarantee you I have people that come to me that are really good at behavioral side, but technical they lost it, and then I have people who are really good at technical and didn't know anything about behavioral and lost it. So I just want to We'll talk about this later on, but go ahead, Michelle, let's hear the whole story.
Yes. So after watching the videos and everything, I became more confident because Danish was saying, you need to know how to do this. You need to explain, because they may put the computer right in front of you and say, do this. So I made sure, I understood what Danish was talking about in the video. And so I felt as though I felt confident in the interview. And like I said, I was asked a lot of technical questions. So I just kind of taken my time. And some of the things that I didn't know, I was informed that you don't say no, or you say no, but you have to say something positive, like I'm a fast or quick learner and I can pick that up real easy. Because he asked me, did I have any MacBook experience, which I do not. So I said, no, not recently. Years ago, I worked on a Mac computer. And so the interview I thought went well. And then when the human resource lady that was in the interview, she started talking about benefits. And I was like, wow, I'm not used to them talking about benefits during an interview. So I didn't want to, and the benefits sounded so good, but I didn't want to smile or focus on that. I was prepared to, focus on the interview itself as far as the technical questions or any kind of questions. So I didn't want to smile at the benefits, but I would listen, because I didn't want to lose focus, like you were talking about, Danish. You don't want to lose focus. And so it was just great. And I just, near the end, I just informed them that I was interested and I'm ready to start making customers happy.
Did they ask you anything about, like, tell me yourself, kind of? Is this how it started?
Yes.
How did you respond to that? Because I know Mitten also had the same question, right, Mitten? And I want to know tell me about yourself. This is the first question. I tell people that's where you break or make things, right? So I want to hear your story here. Like, what did you, with this experience and with this knowledge that you had, you went in there, what did you tell them, Michelle?
Oh, yes. I said, well, I have over 5 years of IT experience, and it varies in the hardware and the software. And in hardware, I have refreshed computers, laptops. I have configured printers. I have worked with smartphones. And in software, I have work with Microsoft Suite. I have done a little experience with Office 365 where I have created some accounts and gave people different rights. I have worked with Active Directory where I have created new user accounts, reset password, and unlocked accounts. And I also said that in networking, I have set up computers and put them on a network and configured their computers.
You basically told them the things that they are looking for in a way that I know this position, right? I'm not this is what you're looking for, and in a very short way you have told them, kind of like you were trying to impress them with, okay, I already know this stuff, right?
Yes,
Got it.
yes. And yes, and by me explaining that, I guess I'm thinking that's why they ask me so many technical questions. I'm not sure, but yes.
Because
And
I think if you go back, you said that I have 5 years of experience. Now that's something, if somebody's listening right now and they're brand new, of course they will not be using 5 years. That's for new people. But you already had a background, which I know, right?
Yes.
And you wanted to to kind of come back and talk about that because that's important. If you have the background, then you have to talk about it. Yes, Mithun, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you there. I understand, not everyone has 5 years of experience and there are a lot of people coming up in IT. I, although did have experience, I lacked a lot of basic skills. So there's a very simple strategy that will work for anyone, and I can guarantee that I've worked on it. First of all, no matter if you don't have IT experience, even if you have job experience, there are ways you've worked with computers. There's absolutely no way you haven't worked with computers. Put those things in the top 3-4 of your job duties and responsibilities, okay? And then just whatever you've done at your work, modify them as soft skills that could work towards the IT job descriptions, okay? That's for the experience that you have. For what you don't, there's the skills section, all right? I have created these labs in these scenarios, and this is what I've done, okay? The more I would say better you describe that, the more it'll be evident to whoever reads that, okay, like this guy has actually done some work, although does not have experience. So this is how you would balance it. From what experience you have, you modify it in terms of your IT experience, and then add the soft skills that you've done. And for what you don't know, put it in the skills part. That's a clear short formula that I applied, and it worked without any problems. And this was my first interview, by the way. This was my very first IT interview after the first I failed 3 months ago, and I cracked the first.
Now that both of you got the jobs, what's your next steps, or what are you guys feeling right now? I'm sure you guys have not started yet. You will start. You'll probably learn more, and you will have more questions. Just like if you guys remember, there's a really our first batch intern or second batch intern, Brad. He is also on our YouTube. He is like we call him a Superman because he got into this internship. He got a job, and now he's doing some little bit of high level stuff now. And similarly with Haifa, she did the training. She's a level 2 right now. There's a lot of people that have done it this way, but they had a lot of questions after, of course, when they find out many other things in the company. But at this point, when you guys have not started yet, what's your mindset and what are you guys thinking right now? Welcome, Kev.
I'm gonna be a little quiet because it's really loud over here.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll be short and quick. Well, my mindset, I definitely want to prepare mentally about when I go in there. I want to show the initiative. I want to have my little notepad so I can take notes. And from what you said, Danish, and hi, Kevin, Kev Tech, nice to see you.
Hi.
As far as once I get in there and start looking into the ticketing system, I want to go in and look at the assignees and just try to see the departments and see what's going on and try to know some of the ins and out. So I just don't want to be lost, and I know I'm going to be new, but as you said, I want to try to work smarter so I won't have a stressful job.
Wow,
and so they're happy that they, picked me.
What about you, Mithun?
Yeah. So for me, again, I'm gonna be in advance. That's one thing that I've learned, and I'm going to first of all, I've already started with the Guide Me to IT program. That's for a reason, and that's whatever skills that I'm yet to learn in more in advance. I have it well before, like, my term at my job ends. So I'm at a 6 month contract. So that's extensible because it's a managed service provider. So my goal going on is first from a job perspective, really observe what's going on and what I'm doing and what I can do better every single day. All right. The same philosophy that I applied to my interviews and interview preparation and resume and everything. Second, there are always going to be skills. This is something that I learned from time. There are always going to be things that are relevant in the job market, but are probably not being done at your job that consistently or not being even done at all. In my free time, I'm going to use that to learn it. For example, I see Michelle pointed out Mac OS is Apple is something that she hasn't worked with, and I haven't worked with either. But as we speak today, I'm gonna grab an Apple Mac Mini 2. Apple Mac Mini that's late 2012. It's $300, and I knew Mac OS. I gave a test in the GMIT. I'm like, this is something that this seems completely alien to me. I'm like, I gotta build on it. So I'm gonna get one today. I'm gonna set it up, and I'm gonna be working on it during my free hour. So this is what I'm going to do.
For Mac,
I'm going to be working on.
yeah, for
Sorry, please
Mac,
go
if you both have premium, LinkedIn Premium, that's LinkedIn. I'm talking about LinkedIn, not JSS. I think they have a very solid courses on Mac. They have Mac administration, full learning path. There's a lot of video courses. In
Yeah.
Just in case you
Yeah.
guys don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, as I've learned, it's just that I went through a lot of job descriptions where one of the jobs that I applied to, they strictly said you have to have Mac OS, and I'm like, I know absolutely nothing about it. And I told myself, I'm like, if this is how I'm going to go, I'm gonna be losing out on a lot of opportunities. So I'm gonna build that. So on my job, I'm gonna be focusing on what's required and keep building on that. And in my free time, I'm gonna be building on what are the skills that are not being covered in my job that are relevant in the market, and I need to get them. Two things that I know for sure are Google Suite is something that I have absolutely no idea about, and macOS is something I have absolutely no idea about, and this is something that I've seen in so many job descriptions.
It's kind of like what we teach about Portal, Office 365.
Yeah.
Once you know that there's going to be a lot of competitor in this, and that's going to be Google. So that's good to know. These skills are always good to know, because you're just adding now to your skill set, because that's what you are now. You got the job, and now it's time for you to add these different type of skills to say, I am an IT professional, right?
Yes.
You can now claim that you're an IT professional, but you internally know that you're not there to say, I'm going to go outside and tell the whole world that I am at that level where I can just leave any job and attack any job with confidence. That's just not how it is, right? You have to build that. And that's where it's going to take you some time. So take your time. But here's my first thing to you, both of you. When you start this work, your focus has to be like on this work now for a few months. Because look, they may be using their own technologies, like the way they have set it up. They may have a software that you will have never seen in any training. Why? Because it's private, it's paid, it's a paid product, and nobody have anything on it. So my recommendation to both of you is to first be very relaxed. Go out there. You're a brand new person. They're not gonna just give you tickets on the first day and just make you kind of like they're not gonna do that. Like make you do things on the first days, right? They will tell you their policies. They're gonna give you a rundown. You're gonna meet HR. You're gonna get accounts. You're gonna be overwhelmed with account access that you're gonna get over there. You're gonna be given a lot of things at that point. Slowly. So don't get overwhelmed. Just think about it. This is my process. All I have to do is to be relaxed. All I have to do is to be focused, and I'm going to take my notes, and step by step I am going to go and approach these things. I'm not going to burn myself out, because I can always go back to the community where JSS Discord or KevTech Discord, and I can say I'm having problem in this area. Does anyone have experience with this? And you will find out. 3 or 4 people are going to tell you something about it, right? So there's no way for you to get stressed now because you are already backed up over here. Now, of course, we tell people that we don't get this wrong in a way that we're going to come and help you with your work. We never do that. We're going to tell you what approach you need to take to get that job done, but no one can come in and fix your stuff at your work, right? That's impossible or legally not right. So the number one thing is to be relaxed. You're going to go out there, learn what they use and how their infrastructure is set up. Michelle, if you remember, and you just talked about it, I said that go over my video, that video that I shared. Okay, say how does network person set up things? How does server person set up things? How does a help desk get a job? You want to break it down for yourself how this company is set up. The moment you do that, and you're not going to be able to do that in the first day, not even in 1 week, probably not even a month. Try to get to that point where you can understand how this whole network is set up. That's it. When you do that, things are going to just become so easy, and you're going to be able to understand how things are working, understand who is responsible for what type of tickets, and things will just become much easier for you. Okay? Now, naturally, people learn it. I'm not saying that you need a special flow for this. Naturally, we learned it that way, but we learned it the hard way, and it took us years to actually get to the point where you understand everything, right? And that's why you hear us on YouTube, why we talk about these things, why are these important things, but because we stressed about it. We already went through this hard time, and KevTech could probably say the same thing. We went through this stuff. Nobody is teaching this stuff, so when you go out there, you're just taking stress, and at the end you feel like you have wasted a lot of years. So now, all you gotta do, number first thing is that you're new. You don't need to think about that you need to know everything in this job, because these are all entry level or IT support jobs. Everybody have their own documentation, their own flow. They have to tell you that first before they even expect anything out of you. So know that. Then utilize your skills in a way that you have learned over here. For example, if let's say they're using ticketing system, you will get into that ticketing system because you're trained to do what, Michelle? You need to see who are the assignee of tickets, who are the technical people. You need to see their tickets. Then you need to see who is your coworkers and how are they getting tickets. What are they doing? What kind of tickets are they working on? I'm talking about the next week now. I'm talking about the second week, third week. Now you're trying to not rely too much on people at this point, because if you don't do that, every single or third day you're going to be asking questions, which is fine. You can ask questions, but if you can impress them with your own ability like this, it sends a very positive vibe out there to these other coworkers, because nobody would like to have a new person coming into you now and they're going to be training you everything from scratch. So if they feel like, look, you're asking them too many basic questions, then that's going to be a little problem, right? And that's actually happens in our own platform. When we tell people that go ahead and download Discord or do this, then people send us questions like, how do I reset my password in Discord? And I say, look, you're becoming an IT pro. I'm not going to tell you how to reset a password in Discord. There's no way I'm going to treat you like a user. I'm going to treat you like an IT person. Go ahead and research. Come back to me when you say I'm failed, right? Because you are an IT pro. You're not a normal user. So when you go out to this new job, make sure you don't go with the mindset that you are a normal user anymore. You are an IT pro, right? And they expect you that you need to be thinking technically now, and you have to have that mindset now. You cannot, if somebody teach you something and you feel like that was too much for you, you cannot react like a user. You have to say, oh, you know what? This is technology. It's going to take me time. This person taught me this stuff. It's my job to go out there and open up documentation. It's my job to go out there. What can I do before I really need this help from this person again? If you do need it, don't be shy to ask. But what I'm saying is, make sure you do your homework. And that's the only way you're going to go fast, learn fast, and become very successful in this whole career.
All right.
100% Daniel. I agree.
I was gonna say the exact same thing, Don. It's the exact same thing. Usually you cannot
ask a lot of questions to someone. 'Cause sometimes they show you one time, and then that's it. They don't show you anymore after that. They get frustrated when you ask for help. So try to take notes, try to ask questions, and don't ask too many questions because sometimes they get annoyed by that. Some people get annoyed by that. Some people don't. You get a feel from which coworkers are like cool. Like you could ask them plenty of questions, and then you have coworkers that they were like, "Oh, I'm going to show you this one time only, and then I expect you to memorize it or learn it." So there are people like that in IT. There are not people that are going to sit here and just show you how to do everything because they have their own tickets they have to do and stuff like that. Does that make sense?
I talked about this thing that when you go out to job, you will realize that you will say that, man, I wish, like, you know how I talk in JSS, how people help me. I wish my company was like this, right? Because in reality, this is the sweetest thing ever. Like when you see in KevTech Discord or JSS, and people are helping, and everybody's not getting tired of you asking questions, or not, like I'm talking about like questions that are relevant or important, or that can help you. But in reality, in IT, this is a nasty area in IT that, yes, IT pros are like that. Some people that get annoyed very quickly. If you ask them basic questions, they may even say something to you. So be prepared, make your mind like that, and try to understand people's body language, the way they talk back to you. If you feel like one person is very positive, the other person is a little negative, then try to make more connection with a positive person than a negative person. Does that make sense?
Right, absolutely.
This
And I
is
think this brings back to the things that I was told in the internship, and that's something that I've realized. It's social skills. Um, like knowing who to interact with, when to interact with, how much to interact with, and how much not to interact with. That's really key, really, because eventually, no matter we're IT professionals, we're working with and for people. And the more time we take to like understand that and implement that correctly, the more successful eventually we'll end up being, in our careers. Because it's something that I just kind of have an idea about. I'm sure Danish and Kat could probably add or correct me if I'm wrong. Technology is pretty much everybody can they can learn, but doing technology and doing people both, like Danish, as you said, there were some people who were good in behavioral, not in technical, and there were good technical people, but not in behavioral. That's essentially what they're looking for. People, people who can work with people as well as with technologies efficiently.
100%. Look, I mean, if you have a bad attitude, you can't communicate with someone properly. I'm sorry to say that there's no way you can survive in this career. I can guarantee you in that you will have a very limited short career in IT if you have a very bad way of talking to people. Because I tell people that this is a business. If you are going to be working for me, and the client is paying me $5,000, $10,000 a month, there's absolutely no way I will let you go ahead with that client again. Does that make sense? Why would I do that? I mean, and you have to. A lot of people think think about themselves in a personal level, but you have to also think about this whole company. Somebody invested this time, the money is being flowing in there. You are getting paid from that same money, and the clients are there. So there is no way for someone to pick on or bring someone with a bad attitude, with a bad way of communicating, or a person, like I said, who think like a user in IT. Why I always say think like a user? Because a user always get annoyed, right? Users say, I'm having an issue, my internet is slow, my computer is slow. Then they will not define that to you as they're not technical people. Maybe their application is slow, but they say my computer is slow, right? And now you go in there and you see, man, that's not the same thing. And now you cannot tell the user, like, look, man, that's not computer is slow. You could politely or in a very professional way, you can, okay, I think the software, you're not telling you're not like, you're not belittling the other person, or you're not telling the person that you're dumb, right? Or you're showing your anger that I was thinking about some other solutions. Now I came to your PC and it's about the software, or it has nothing to do with me. So you want to give that answer in a very professional manner. And in the same way, it doesn't matter if it's doing technology or learning technology. It's the same process for both. You cannot be a learner to go out there and use bad behavior with anyone. You're just not going to get anything.
Yep.
So it's a key points right there that I guess you guys already know this stuff. That's why you got these jobs, because you have shown something to them. And I hope you guys will keep learning, because like I said, JSS is not for people to just land a job over here. We do work on this area pretty much hardcore with KevTech and other pros. But look, what else are we doing over here? You have this whole big platform to enhance your skills now. Try to go out there, try to get your hands on whatever you get from us, and then try to enhance that in a way that you don't want to be getting stuck now, right? And because the next goal right now as an IT professional, skills, because now I have actually seen this on LinkedIn. Somebody wrote it as a tag: skills is a new degree. That's what they're calling it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that is
100%.
and that is what the reality is. This is a new degree now. The more skills you have, the better opportunities you're gonna get. And I can say the same thing for myself. Kev probably would say the same thing for himself, that today he can go out for many other jobs confidently because he has skills. Or me,
Right.
I may say, yeah, I'm gonna go for this admin position, this engineer position, because I have skills. And that's where you want to be
Right.
then.
And I just want to add, like, GSS, as Danish said, it's pretty easy. Like, anybody can get a job, and like, obviously you have to work for it. But there are challenges you come across, and now with this platform, it's so it's so relaxing to think like, okay, if I put in the work, and if I still come across challenges, I can put it on this platform, ask Danish, ask Kavtek, or other admins or other experienced people, like, these are the challenges that I'm coming across, and this is what I'm implementing. Is there something that I can do better, or I add to it, or am I going in the correct direction? Because it's just not about getting a job. You get a job, they put you there, then they're gonna see how well you work there. And if you have the guidance of people who have been there, who've been there tons of times, and who had years of experience, it just makes it so much easier and so much shorter. So that's really a key here. You can just go onto Discord. You can go into the chat group, and want to, like, these are the challenges that I'm facing at my job with my so and so scenario, whatever that is. So yeah, this is really key. I would say.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. This information is just gold, to be honest, for a new person. Rashmi, you're new. Do you have any questions? Like, you heard all these two your batch interns. What do you think right now? Do you have any questions from them, from Mithun and Michelle?
I was listening all this time, and yes, because I wasn't talking much because it is midnight, mid-morning here, so I don't want to disturb others sleeping. So that's one thing. And yes, I've been applying for the jobs from like past 2-3 weeks. Of course, I'll contact them like if I need anything. I'll take whatever the notes which they gave, like, on the points which they were telling. Like LinkedIn, I do connect with in LinkedIn with people and recruiters. As Nitin mentioned that how he took the job description and kept applying and modifying the resume. I agree with that. When I do that, and I need to improve on that as well. Michelle, yes. I think I'll ask them when I'm applying, or if I get anything, I connect them personally. And yes, there is a lot of questions in my head right now. I think I'm like a little bit sleepy.
And
Yeah,
the
I
other
think-
thing is that Mithun and Michelle, remember this. I like to capture stories, and this is your first story part. Like Brad, we captured a story, right? So after a month or two, when you guys spend some time on this job, you need to give me another story then, and that's why I want you to
100%.
capture everything, because you're gonna have thousands of people. To be honest, they with Michelle, people like you, they're gonna have the same questions about age. Now, how did you tackle it? How did you learn something on this area? With Mithun, you're brand new. You just got into this, and then you're basically learning something new. Remember, both of you have different story going on, and I want to capture that. Next time when I see you guys, I'm gonna ask you. I'm not gonna ask you the same questions again. I'm gonna ask you what happened the first week, what happened the third week, how did you tackle different things, and I know these things that are gonna come to these new people that are going to have these questions. And just like Brad's stories, we're going to capture your story now. And one day, I'm sure both of you, if you don't give up, you guys will be engineers. And we'll come back to these same stories. And we can add so much to it. And this is going to give huge confidence to people out there that you can do it, right? Look at these two different personas, two different ways of attacking these jobs, and they got the jobs. And that's what we want to tell people.
Right, for sure. One thing that I just will emphasize on, I think it'll pretty much become a rant, but I'll still say it. I'm going to be documenting everything that I'm going to learn. It's the same strategy that I'll be applying. It's something that I'm constantly hammering on, I know, but this is the key. Patience and valuing every single day, every single hour that you put in, and really putting intense thought and focus on it. That's really going to be the key with everything. Because I really obsessed myself. In the like last year, I remember in December, I took I had a 10 days leave. I could have gone on a vacation or taken a chill time, but I took those 10 days off and I started deciding, okay, I got to get back into IT. What can I start with? And this was December 2020.
Practical. That's what you're saying.
Yes, get serious about it. All right, this is not. You take this lightly. You put half efforts.
The terms.
Yeah, practical and serious. All right, and aware. All right, where you are, where you need to be, and the steps every single day you're going to take to get there. And you will get there. Like I got there. Michelle got there. 6 months ago, 7 months ago, there were very low possibilities. But that's what I kept telling myself: how serious you are, how consistent you are, how practical are you are. What are you doing every single day? And let's just say I also had worst case scenarios. Like I told with the interview that I was told you don't know the work. I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? Somebody's going to tell me like, you don't know the work, or probably even get passionate about it. That's fine. I'll take that as feedback. I'll probably share in JSS and see what's a better strategy that I could have taken. It could be that I don't land the job this week. It could take like the next 3 months. What am I doing every single day to move forward and ahead in the process? What more or better I can do? So that's the same thing that I've done with that, and it's the same thing I'm going to do with my job and my skills development on the side.
Thank you, Mithun, for that.
That's it.
Anything you want to add, Michelle or Rashmi, or anything, so we can wrap up like in 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes.
Thanks for your guidance, Mithun. I'll definitely take those things, and I've been applying. I'm pretty sure you guys will hear from me as well. Success story.
Sen, I'm very confident on you. You're definitely you're active. That's what I see. So when somebody's active, they get it. That's the whole thing. You will get it. If not today, tomorrow. If not tomorrow, another day. But you'll get it. Trust me.
Yes, thanks for you, Danish. First of all, I've been it's been like a month, just 1 month. I've got so much of confidence in me. I had no confidence. Like I was like, I wanted, but I had to give up because I don't have confidence at all. Right. So since I spoke with you after getting this internship, I'm on a different level now. So thanks for you all guys.
I want to hear. Different level. There you go.
Yes.
Yep, exactly. Different level altogether.
Michelle, you want to say something?
Couldn't be possible.
Yes. Okay. And I want to say, Hafer is not here, but thank you, Hafer, again. Thank you for that connection.
Oh yeah.
To get into the internship program. And I will continue to do labs. And I just can't wait to really join the JSS community so I can just learn about the labs and have that experience once I get there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely help you out. I mean, I think Mithun is probably already a member, so he already experienced that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So.
Yeah, and I also want to thank Hef. I'm sorry I didn't mention her at all. I remember from the internship interview, she was the one who said, okay, you don't know the answers, but you are trying to figure out, you're going through the steps. She really instilled some great confidence in me when it was a really, really testing time for me in the internship interview.
Oh, and also, I'm sorry, I want to thank Kev Tech, because if it wasn't for
absolutely,
Kevin, I would not.
Yeah, go ahead. I think her audio cut out.
I think so.
Yeah, her audio cut out. And yeah, Kev, I want to thank everyone. Like Kev, even in the interview, I remember he literally break down the simple things that I would not know otherwise. From practical perspective, he told me he's like, you learn fast. You could do better, but you need to put in the work. So he supported me, but he was honest about the fact that yeah, you got to put in the work. We're giving you a chance. You've seen potential, but you're gonna have to put in the work, and that itself was such a plus for me.
Make sure to I'm gonna post his channel in my description. Make sure to go to his playlist because his interview questions are very powerful, and
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
and that's
Oh,
where
yes.
we use that for almost every interview questions. We have a collaborative playlist, I believe, right, Kevtech, and we give like one is a long playlist and one is like a short
Yep.
playlist. So we tell people if you're serious and you wanna test yourself, and that's what Kevtech says the same thing. You wanna watch the long interviews, pause it when we ask you a question in a hot seat with other people. Pause it, test yourself, and then after that, see if you know that. And that's a long version of it. So he has the same playlist on his YouTube, and then he has this other
Right.
short versions, and we have the short version. So if you combine it, to be honest, you have so many interview questions being answered by pros and being corrected by us. It's just that people use that. And some people are not even on our communities, to be honest, and they're getting jobs. So it just
Right.
shows you how powerful these videos are.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely like at the end I tell people, man, we have so much for you. You just gotta, going back to Mithin's point, that you got to sit down. You got to sit down, get serious,
Yeah.
and do it, because it's not gonna help you if you watch my video or if you watch Kevtech's video and you just don't even do it. Like you just watch it and that's like a you audio or video you just went through for 30-40 minutes. It's not gonna cut it for you because you are missing so many things in between that you're gonna come back to us with those basic questions again, and we're gonna keep telling you, did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? We don't go away from that, and you will realize that look, these guys are not going further because now these guys really want me to do what I really supposed to do, right? Like going practical. And I see this mistake with even with our premium members. They get all these labs and everything. They start doing it and it's skipping through a lot of things. But then when you ask them questions, they haven't done it. And that's the problem right there, right? So realistic answer is that you gotta put that time in there. You gotta get practical.
Yep, and also I have to thank Danishir. Not again, last Sunday he wasn't here, and on Monday, when he was reviewing the resumes, he's not supposed to talk for that long. He was like, "I'm gonna drop off in 20 minutes." He stayed on the channel, like on the watch channel for 1 hour, even when his health didn't allow. So it really goes to show how.
Definitely stay for long. It's just that sometimes I have episodes, and when that episode
Yeah,
starts, I'm then kind of like
Yeah, but that
And the
that
thing
goes
is,
to show, I think. Sorry to interrupt, Rashmi. I'll just complete and then
that's
you go.
okay.
That goes
Yeah.
to show how, like we were talking about seriousness. This is another example of seriousness. Like you do things even when it's not convenient, even when it's not comfortable. So that's really the highest one. Sorry, Rashmi. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks, Mithun. No, he told us in the beginning that I can't talk much, but still he went on talking for an hour. Like I was like, how much passion, this guy is about IT, and he has got a lot of videos. Even Kevtak actually, I keep watching. It's like a baby step for us. Like entry level when I don't know anything. If you watch other videos in the YouTube, they directly go to that point and then they start like it's not that clear. You think I can't do it. But when you go through these videos, they have literally, you put some keywords in there, you get their videos. And you go through that, okay, I get that. It's easy, I can do it.
yeah,
You get
we
that
for
confidence.
us it's kind of like it's what we love to see. At the end, we want to hear a story of you become very successful, and at the end, of course, we want to see you coming back and giving back to the community, right? Because of course,
100%.
like I said, we're only few people here. The more people come and do this, the more this career is going to become easier for a lot of people. And we see there's a big problem in this career. There's a lot of stress in this career that people don't talk about it, and that's what we bring that let's do that. Like I know for sure you guys are gonna become experts in your own areas, and you will have another way of guiding people. And I want that. I want that Mitten to be an engineer, and I know he has this whole cool way of doing things, and I want him to come back and say, okay, now are you ready to become Mitten now, like me, like I can give you something now. And that's the kind of like our goal of this whole platform. And to be honest, we don't think about anything when we go on YouTube. Me and KevTech one time spent 4 hours live, 3 hours the next day, 2 hours the next day. We don't think about anything than just sharing skills at that point. And I guess that's what we do.
That's true. I did watch some videos. The hot seats are like 2.5 hours. Some are like 3 hours. So I was like, oh my god. Like that's okay. You know, from our perspective, we want to learn, so we can sit for 3-4 hours. We are ready to learn. From your side, you have a lot of things to do, but still you guys come here and spend a lot of time. That is really great. That's awesome.
Our members in here, like you, it doesn't matter the member or not. It's a community. So anyways, it's something that we're gonna be here for a long time. Trust me, it's gonna be a long relationship. We have made some great friends over here. Everybody who you see over here is actually that's how we met, and you guys will be a part of this community for a long time. I can definitely guarantee you on that if you're still here. So.
Definitely.
Well, I think we should wrap it up. It's been 1 hour. Again, Kev, thanks for joining, bro. Later on, I'll come back again, probably late night, and we'll kind of catch up on.
Yeah, sounds good, man. My brother just got here, so I'm probably gonna drive back to New York like in 2 hours or so.
All right, Mitten, Rashmi, Michelle, take care, everyone, and I will post this video sooner. I'll do some little edits to it, and then I'll just post it so anyone can watch it. Okay.
For sure.
Sure, then.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Danish. Thank you so much, Kev.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle.
And
Thanks,
always
Rashmi.
once again, Michelle and Mithun.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Thank you guys. You guys stay awesome. Keep learning.
All right.
Thank you so much, Kev.
Thank you.